And we're back with a Today exclusive on a brand new basketball league for some of the world's most talented teens. They call the league Overtime Elite, and it's positioning itself as a new pathway to the pros for elite high school age players.
Yeah, so the league is operated by Overtime. It's a sports media company that the young people in your life probably know very well. They have a massive digital footprint, 50 million followers, 1 billion views every month, and Overtime Elite, or OTE, this is its next big venture. The league now successfully recruiting top-tier talent thanks to an impressive staff, big-name investors, and the promise of a minimum six-figure salary.
I'm on a mission to get to the NBA. I'm ready. I'm ready to work.
Jalen Lewis has always been a dreamer.
How long have you known you wanted to be a professional basketball player?
I'll say since I was 3. Since I really started figuring out the game, I knew it was for me.
And the game's been good to him. The Oakland native is 6'9", number 2 in his draft class, and at 16 years old already, one of the hottest young players in the country.
I've heard that you're decent on the court.
I can make a few shots. I'm all right.
But Jalen's forging a new path to the pros. He's giving up his high school and college eligibility to play for Overtime Elite, a brand new basketball league for the world's top 16 to 19-year-olds. The inaugural class of 27 players are considered pros because they're paid to play. Contracts start at $100,000 a year. Jalen's multi-year contract is reportedly worth $1 million. He's now the youngest professional basketball player in U.S. history.
It's a lot of money.
It is. It's like something that no one has really done at 16. That's why I seize the opportunity.
It's life-changing.
Yeah.
Jalen and his new teammates live and train in Atlanta. They're split into 3 groups of 9 and will play elite prep schools in each other through a 37-game season with international play expected next spring. When the athletes aren't at practice, they're in class learning about financial literacy, social activism, mental health, and the business of basketball.
So are we teaching them to be businessmen or basketball players?
All of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above.
OTE leadership is uniquely qualified to understand the importance of both. The 3 I talked to have a combined 70 years of coaching, playing, and executive experience in the NBA and NCAA.
Why was it so important to allow the guys to profit off their likeness and their name?
A lot of younger players, especially some of the newer stars in the league, got their start connecting with Overtime's fans and building community online. And so how could we, of all organizations, not acknowledge that value in the form of a contract?
And they've caught the attention of some impressive investors.
Drake, Jeff Bezos, Carmelo Anthony, Kevin Durant, a few dozen NBA players. Why do you think so many of these men and women have decided to pony up so much money?
You have professional athletes, you have entrepreneurs, you have musicians, all people who excel at what they do and have, in many cases, taken alternative paths. They see themselves in this opportunity.
Drake didn't have to go to the Berklee School of Music. He was quite fine without it.
So the idea is to produce NBA players.
That is certainly a major goal for us. We want to see as many of them as possible in the NBA because that's every kid's dream.
A dream that Jalen Lewis is more than ready to make real in a few years. For now, though, he's enjoying being 16. That means talking to girls, playing video games, and debating basketball legends.
Greatest player ever. It's not a trick question.
I'm just going to go with LeBron James.
LeBron?
Yeah.
How many championships does he have?
4, right?
How many does Mike have?
You got 6.
Right. You need to teach the kids some history of basketball, Coach.
We decided to settle things where else? On the court.
I'm pulling it.
I wasn't even warm yet. Hang on.
What are you going to do?
Oh! Come on, Overtime! Oh, now he's showing off, Coach.
That's a back down game.
Oh, I'm in there again.
You dribble too much. Oh! Oh!
The turnover.
Oh! Defense. Look at the D. How about we call it a draw? Okay. Yeah, I'm out of breath.
You lost 3-1 and you're exhausted.
I did. We only played for 5
pulled a
minutes.
hammy.
And the kid, he's number 2 in the country. OTE season, by the way, kicked off this weekend. They played a few prep schools at home in Atlanta. No surprise, they won all of their games. Also no surprise to anyone that Jalen, he put up 20 points in his first game.
What you would call a draw.
Yes.
Exactly.
So this is, I mean, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind
Yeah, it
around.
is.
Right.
It's such a new concept. But, I mean, the NCAA is going to start paying
Yes.
players. So does that make it a harder sell? I mean, it seems like the big pull for players to not go college route is to get paid at the
Yes.
OTE.
Yes. And some players in the NCAAs, when they change the rules, they'll make money. Everyone in this league makes money.
Yeah.
The minimum size are $100,000, and they can cash in on their name and likeness. And of course, the flip side though is you can't go to college.
So what happens then? I mean,
The thinking is that most of these kids, if not all of these kids, either end up in the NBA or they play overseas. They play internationally. These are the best kids around the country. The bigger question is going to come into play, I think, in a couple of years from now when you've got the blue chip programs, your Dukes, your UNCs.
Right.
They're now competing with the overtime elites and other programs like this for top talent. So
It makes some sense, though. Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, LeBron. The list goes on if people came right out of high school.
Yeah.
True.
So that pathway is not.
but how many of
impossible
them,
to see.
of those caliber players, are these kids?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for its part, the NBA, they're okay with it right now. So.
Okay.
Right.
Interesting.
That was
It is
cool.
interesting.